Have you ever wondered why, in a world connected 24/7, you still feel lonelier than ever? According to John Bowlby, one of the founding fathers of attachment theory, a secure relationship not only helps us survive, but enables us to thrive. So why is it that every time you try to get closer to share your feelings, you're met with icy silence or those dreaded seen but ignored red receipts? Have you ever stayed up all night staring at your phone, hoping for a simple, "I'm sorry," a caring, "How are you?" or a heartfelt, "I miss you"? Instead, you see the cold blue ticks. Each message you send feels like a shot of hope fired at an invisible wall called emotional avoidance. And you catch yourself wondering, did they ever care about me? Or was I merely a free emotional resource in their calculated equation? Worse still, in the whirlwind of work and social media, you watch friends laugh with their partners, while every time you try to share a joy or a sorrow, you're halted by the fear of being abandoned or dismissed. You find yourself trapped between two states, craving love and fearing to be hurt once again. If you're watching this video, it means part of you is already exhausted. You've paid too high a price for trust and futile expectations. Today, we're going to lift the veil on the final dirty trick avoidant partners play, why they really come back to you, and how you can stop being the prey to these psychological maneuvers. Stay tuned, because this isn't just their story or mine. It's the story that's been unfolding in your heart and the hearts of millions of others. When you reach the final limit of your patience, when your heart lies in shattered pieces and you decide to let go, that is precisely the moment they stage their phantom return with uncanny timing. A late-night message, "I miss you," a call at midnight that lights up your phone screen in the silent darkness. It's all just enough to tug at your heartstrings, to ignite a flicker of fragile hope, yet not nearly enough to rekindle the genuine flame that had long since cooled after countless acts of neglect. They reappear like a specter, simultaneously intimate and aloof, evoking in you a seed of doubt. Is this true remorse or a meticulously calculated maneuver? No sooner has the phantom return drawn to a close than the next phase, the vulnerability weapon, is deftly deployed. They recount a harsh childhood, the unspoken traumas buried for decades, their voice cracking with emotion, tears tracing paths down their cheeks as proof of the sudden PhD in feelings they've acquired. Every detail they share aims to awaken your compassion and make you question why you overlooked their cold indifference before. Why were they so uncaring yesterday? You ask yourself. Their answer is cunningly crafted. Because I hadn't feared losing you until now. Before you can fully resurrect your hope, the promise parade kicks off the next sequence, laden with commitments that feel more like a business plan than a heartfelt vow. "I'll attend weekly therapy," they declare as if reading from a PowerPoint slide. "We'll do a Sunday morning check-in. I promise to listen slowly and fully." They chart timelines in precise 30, 60, 90-day milestones, as though managing a corporate project. The tone of these promises is gentle, yet structured with such logical rigor that you must pause and wonder, is this genuine commitment or a screenplay lifted from a self-help blog? Evidently, instead of expressing heartfelt emotion, they're presenting a detailed blueprint complete with KPIs, deliverables, and deadlines, a parade of pledges that makes you smile wryly, remembering you encouraged them to seek these solutions long ago. Only once the loss alarm lit up did they belatedly launch their plan. These tactics, phantom, return, vulnerability, weapon, promise parade, when orchestrated in sequence, form a script both enticing and perilous. You stand caught between two emotional states, the desire to believe in them and the fear of being deceived yet again. This phenomenon is not a random series of gestures, but a strategic system designed to maintain power and control, making it nearly impossible for you to walk away, even when your heart is utterly exhausted. As the final dirty trick subsides, we must delve into the core of the issue. Why do these maneuvers wield such power? The answer lies in the deep psychological mechanism of the avoidant style, known as deactivation, in Mikulincer and Shaver's attachment theory, 2016. Avoidant individuals maintain distance by deliberately freezing their emotions when the relationship grows too intimate, only reactivating them when they sense their safe supply, your attention and care is dwindling. Picture an automated valve. When the relationship surpasses their tolerance threshold, the emotional valve shuts, creating a barrier that shields the self from overload. Then, once the system detects pressure dropping when you begin to withdraw, the valve reopens, and they emerge as a hero to salvage the situation. This is the essence of the need compensation dynamic. You become a constant variable in their emotional equation. Each time you step back, a vacuum appears and forces them to react at all costs to fill it. They are not driven by a genuine desire to connect or build intimacy, but by the fear of losing their source of validation, a long-term safe supply. Once the vacuum is filled, they instantly revert to silence, for the emotional valve shuts again, preventing authentic feelings from streaming out for too long. To orchestrate these moves with precision, they employ a hyperactivated strategy. Every tear, apology, or promise is meticulously measured, just enough to make you waver, but not enough to bind them into lasting change. This tactic is not about reviving love, but about maintaining control. Those tears aren't falling because they've changed. They're falling because they fear losing the emotional infrastructure you provided. And by understanding the three mechanisms, deactivation, need compensation, and hyperactivated strategy, you'll realize that the entire script of Phantom Return, the Vulnerable Show, and the Promise Parade comprises carefully designed psychological fragments. And this awareness becomes the stepping stone for you to choose a wiser response, no longer ensnared in their power play. Now that you've fully grasped how deactivation, need compensation, and hyperactivated strategy operate, the next step is to identify the strategic silence and replacement threat, two potent phases from the avoidant playbook. In the punishment protocol, once grand promises lose their effect, they immediately switch to ghost mode, turning off their phone, disconnecting on every platform, even muting the television in your shared space. Silence becomes their ultimate weapon. Each second you don't hear from them feels like a blade carving into past wounds. You wonder, am I really worth this? This absence is not accidental, but a sophisticated power play, designed to make you relive every heartbreak and broken promise until you're compelled to apologize, to come crawling back. And when punishing you with silence fails to win you over, they escalate to the replacement threat. Suddenly, their social media transforms into a vibrant stage. Party shots, weekend brunch with friends, smiling clips by the ocean. They want you to see one clear message. Without me, the world keeps turning, and it might just be more beautiful. The dazzling flashes in those photos strike your heart, stirring a hidden desire to win this emotional game. You fear being left behind. You dread losing the only chance to see them happy with you. That fear has your lips muttering, "I will never forgive," even as your heart secretly pines, "Is there any chance for us?" Every move from tactical absence to a public recruitment of a replacement targets a single goal, triggering your inner defense mechanisms, turning loneliness into a tool to make you waver back toward them. You're not just a spectator, but the lead actor in this power play drama, torn between the craving for love and the fear of loss. Once you clearly recognize these two phases, you hold the power to choose. Either continue playing their scripted game, or step out, reclaim your inner peace, and refuse to let any power play control your heart. After uncovering each tactic of strategic silence and replacement threat, you're likely exhausted to the core, realizing that every tear, every promise, every dazzling photo was merely part of their power play performance. Now, let's flip the entire script. Every action you once perceived as a sign of genuine affection, crying, vulnerability, commitments, was actually a finely tuned strategy to maintain the upper hand in the relationship. They stage the vulnerable show to tug at your heart, then vanish to see how quickly you panic. They deploy the phantom return only when they've calculated that a sufficient absence will leave you disoriented and ready to return. Then they parade their perfect promises as if to prove you still have the need that grants them power over your emotions. The surprising truth here is, when they are genuinely sincere, they don't count every tear or craft a 30, 60, 90-day plan. They express their feelings naturally, without theatrics or a strategic department in their mind. Conversely, whenever every move is meticulously calculated, that's the surest sign they have never truly opened their heart. Genuine sincerity doesn't require a script, and love doesn't need calculations. If you encounter a plan that's too polished or a performance too well rehearsed, remind yourself, this isn't affection, it's a power play. And now, ask yourself, if they had the capacity to show care, empathy, and commitment all along, why didn't they use it when you were still together? Why did those emotions only surface once you walked away? This question helps you see through the act and set healthy boundaries for the relationship, because only by recognizing the equation calculation equals insincerity can you break free from the cycle of pain and return to your own sense of security. Having seen through the power play drama and laid bare every psychological tactic, the crucial next step is to turn back to yourself, to deeply understand and honor your self-worth. The concept of a secure base is one that securely attached individuals always embody. They don't immediately jump into the gain-loss game, nor do they measure their self-worth by their partner's reactions. They know that a person's value is not determined by response rates, empty promises, or polished vulnerable shows. When you truly believe in your intrinsic worth, you don't seek external validation. You deserve genuine care, and you have no hesitation walking away from interactions built on calculation. Next comes boundary setting. Establishing clear limits with the avoidant partner is your shield against the hidden thrusts in the power play dance. These boundaries might mean not responding instantly to every message until promises are proven, declining meetings driven solely by manipulative tactics, or pausing whenever you feel emotionally coerced. By steadfastly upholding these boundaries, you're no longer the subject of their emotional experiments, but the active director of your own relationship. More importantly, this is the first step in transformation. From someone who used to nurture and cater to them, you reverse the roles to nurture yourself and guard your own heart. You prioritize your emotional needs over any promise or performance. You recognize that you are the #1 priority, and there is no room for calculated, avoidant, or weaponized emotional behavior. When secure base, boundary setting, transformation converge, you generate an inner strength that nullifies all their tricks. And once you stand firmly in your self-worth, we will move into part healing, where you'll learn to rebuild your heart after the scars and cultivate safe attachment both with yourself and with others. Once you have deeply grasped your self-worth and firmly established boundaries, the next step is to cultivate a secure response, one that no longer plays into the power games of the avoidant. First comes indifference. You learn not to feel anger, sadness, or gratification at their tactics. Instead, you observe as if watching a no-stakes drama. Each time they escalate their weaponry, a sentimental text, a grand promise, or even a prolonged silence, you simply smile inwardly and think, "Oh, the same old trick?" This indifference is not apathy, but a testament to your inner stability. You are no longer swept away by emotional beats, maintaining calm and agency. Next is self-validation, affirming your own value and happiness without waiting for any of their promises. Reclaim your joy by making a personal pledge. I deserve love and respect. Then practice internal confidence through journaling to mark daily small victories, meditating to reconnect and rebalance your emotions, and spending quality time with friends and family, those who stand by you unconditionally. When you generate validation from within, external promises lose significance, and you can fully live your life regardless of any responses you receive. Finally, communication. If you need to discuss your feelings with your partner, use I statements instead of accusations. For example, "I feel anxious when you remain silent too long. I need some reassurance to feel safe." This approach avoids triggering their defenses and helps them understand your needs while preserving your self-respect. To reinforce a secure response, you may follow a 4-step recovery roadmap. Step eshi, weeks eshi des. Identify the pattern record every time they deploy a tactic to clearly see the cycle of phantom return, vulnerability weapon, promise parade, strategic silence, replacement threat. Step 2, weeks 3, 4. Practice indifference, avoid immediate responses, give yourself space, and pay attention to your breath and emotions when thoughts of them arise. Step 3, months 2, 3. Learn more about secure attachment, read specialized books, consult a mental health professional, and join support groups to expand your knowledge and find mutual empathy. Step 4, after 3 months. Reassess the relationship, observe whether they have genuinely changed or are merely performing. If everything repeats the old pattern, you will have enough data to make a definitive decision. As we wrap up, let's briefly revisit the key takeaways from today's journey. First, we exposed the final dirty trick of the avoidant partner, the strategic cycle of disappearing and reappearing, the well-timed vulnerability, and the parade of promises, all designed to keep you on an emotional roller coaster. Then, we learned how to decode these tactics through attachment theory, understanding deactivation, the need-compensation dynamic, and hyperactivated strategies. Next, we discovered the power of setting healthy boundaries and reclaiming our secure base by honoring our intrinsic worth. Finally, we outlined a practical roadmap for healing, cultivating indifference to manipulation, practicing self-validation, communicating with I statements, and systematically assessing whether real change is happening. The core message here is simple but profound. Your value does not depend on another's attention or fleeting displays of affection. You deserve consistent, respectful connection, never the leftovers of someone's calculated performance. By choosing your self-worth over momentary emotional highs, you step into your power and create space for genuine, healthy relationships. Thank you, truly, for staying with me until the very end. Your time and attention mean the world, and I hope these insights light the path for your own secure attachment journey. I'd love to hear from you. What resonated most in today's video? Have you faced similar patterns? And how did you respond? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. It's through our shared stories that we all grow stronger. If you found value here, please hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming deep dives into secure attachment and emotional resilience. Let's continue this journey together because you deserve a love that's grounded, authentic, and unwavering.